should react in a minute. YouTube. Not yet. Alright, I think we're live on... Restream thinks we're live. Okay, Twitch thinks we're live, and YouTube also thinks we're live. Alright, welcome to Code Hangout number 226. We started work on our own Markdown parser last time. What I would like to do today is not blow my ears out by being too loud here. But besides that, I also want to run the Markdown parser against the puzzle database and basically get an idea if we'll get false positives with the parser as it is set up, right? So to do that, we'll obviously have to connect to the Markdown parser. Hey, Wimike. Ah, thank you. Let me know how the audio is, because I'm trying a different playlist for the first time in I don't know how many hundreds of streams. And I hope it works out. I bought a puzzle pack from... I put it in my description. I should know this. From Elektrobear. They had a sale of an 80 song video games music pack, and I purchased that, and they said it's okay, I use it on the stream. So, let's see how long it takes for it to get copyright struck, because that always somehow happens eventually. I am looking for Sudoku data where I'm sure I've done some code that has connected to the database before. And for sure I've done it when I was working with the matrix stuff. But also when I looked at the counters. No. Something in here. One of these. Okay, wait. I can just drag this folder in here, can't I? Yeah. So if I do a quick search, if I say find in folder and I search for Mongo, it doesn't find anything. That's strange. I've definitely run scripts that looked at the MongoDB from in here. Specifically the ones that built the database. Here. So why didn't that find that? Huh? I say find in folder, and I say Mongo DB find. Now it finds it. All right. Mostly what I would like to find is the most recent one. Can I have these sorted by date? Hey, Keith, how are you? You hear no music. Okay, then I've probably put the volume too low, because it gets loud for me very quickly. Oh, I know why. Because I think I changed the volume for the browser here. All right, how's the music now? No, that's definitely not a you problem. How's the music now? I thought I sound checked it, but maybe I went overboard with the reduction of the volume. Actually, no, this still reduces the volume for you guys, doesn't it? The problem is, it gets so loud on my own ears, but at the same time, I don't want to reduce my monitor output. Let me know if you hear music now. Is it possible that I'm also not routing it through? I'm seeing it in this... Yeah, it was in the recording, and I'm seeing it... Okay, 1 second. I'm going to listen into the stream. It's going to be a little chaotic. I'm going to unmute the stream for a second. I'm going to mute the music. And I hear no music in the stream. You're absolutely right. What is going on? 1 second, I'm gonna have to mute that, or it's gonna drive me absolutely bonkers. I am suspecting that my output stuff isn't set right. So for the recording, I'm recording 3 audio tracks. For streaming, I'm using audio track 1. And audio track 1, if I have that configured correctly, should be all of it, including desktop audio, which should include the music I'm hearing right now. That's bizarre. And audio track 1, if I have that, let me make it so loud that I can't hear myself. All of it, including desktop audio, And I'm listening into the stream.
I'm hearing right now.
Ah, okay, so you're hearing something.
That's bizarre.
Oh, all the
That'll make it so loud that I
okay, okay. All right, so I'm gonna bring it down to, I think I had it 15.
I'm listening into the stream.
And hopefully that'll be okay. All right. I'll keep an eye on the chat because for me, it's more distracting than for you probably, because you care less about what I say than I. I kind of have to pay attention to my own thoughts. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so I definitely used the MongoDB connection in the Matrix stuff that I did for Clemson University. So I definitely want to look at that because that's the most, definitely, it'll be the most recent that we want. Definitely. And if I use the word definitely a few more times, I'll definitely do the right thing here. So if I search only in this folder, can I do something more specific here? No, I wish. Okay, well, it says match givens, so let's just do this and pull match givens in here. All right, and there's nothing. There should be nothing here that I have to worry about with you guys. I can trust you, right? Let's. I'm just thinking, this one is Sudoku Pad MD. I guess I'll pull some MongoDB stuff into here. So let's save this as check db for md.js. Okay, super verbose, but it is what it is, right? We have our starter function closure here, which I've just gotten into the habit of doing like this. Now let's see if I can do this, and I put this in here, right? And then here I look for where conf is being used. All right. Now I'll say function whatever, function main, sure. Down here it just calls main, right? Yeah, fair enough. So for now that'll do the trick. So we should be able to just do this. Boom. And then here we'll say ready, say. I just want to make sure this is where we're gonna be. And then we're just gonna call test.js. No. Check this one. Ready. Okay. I think it does some sort of resolving of dependencies, some auto resolution. I'm not actually sure I want that. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that to make sure it doesn't put something in here we don't want. But let's just pull something down from here. So we just want to look at a couple of puzzles. So I don't actually care about the format. I probably just want to limit. Format we don't actually care about. So we can actually, if I don't do a match here, right, and then we'll just do a console.log doc dot title. Like if I do this, all right, we'll get a couple of puzzles, that's fine. But it doesn't finish, which means we'll have to close. So we'll probably want to do something like we want to do a little bit of wrap up here. We're gonna do async function initdb. We'll do conf, right? And then it'll kind of do this, and then it'll return db, and then we'll just say const db equals await initdb conf like that, I think. And then we can just do a try. And then we can do a finally. Ah, wait, no, DB client. Yeah, we can't really separate that unless we pull these things out of there. Okay, and that's probably why I didn't do it like this over there. All right, never mind that. We're gonna do a try here. And then down here, we'll do a finally try, finally. Oh wait, DB client close. DB client needs to be on the outside. DB client, DB, yeah, that can go in here. And then that goes like that, and that goes like that. So I'm used to the text a bit smaller. I always try to make it big. ASY. Where did I write ASY? Here. All right. Okay. Don't need the ready anymore. We've got our little bit of setup. We don't actually need to do this for now. And then here we can do some stuff. Cool. Yeah, sorry, too loud. I should have warned you better. Firewall between the database and we can't inject code inject Instantopad, then you should be fine. Yeah. This is a local copy, so but I'll be honest, I haven't followed best security practices. I've been kind of trusting I've been trusting the community to not mess too much with me because they'll just take themselves down, and there have been not too many incidences of malpractice so far, but I definitely have to improve this as maybe people I don't fully that haven't really earned the trust that I should be dealing with. So I think I'm gonna do a separate function here. So I'm gonna say async function test rules, right? And we'll just pass the DB in here, and then we'll basically just move that into that function for now, just to have it cleaner, and I don't have to think about this cleanup code here. And then here we'll just say await this DB. Then we can not think about this again, and that should still run the same way, sure. Now the Markdown's code itself is kind of like this. So we probably want to put this into a separate file in a minute, but right now it's not really there yet. So I think we're gonna put that over here, right? And we're just gonna parse MD. We're gonna call this parse MD, and we're gonna try that here. See if parse MD works. And here we're just gonna say parse MD this string. Make sure that'll run. And then I think we can just do watch, and then it should just automatically rerun every time we make a change. Okay, so that definitely happens. So, and now we kind of sort of want to automate this a little bit. So we probably need to look at puzzle JSON. So for now, let's just look at one. Let's look at puzzle JSON. And we'll probably actually do want to filter by type now, because that'll make it easier to control what sort of... so I don't have to kind of handle all sorts of different formats. So in the moment, I think SCL is probably the only thing we care about. So I do this, and I'm gonna just fill the screen with this for a sec here. So that's the puzzle JSON, and the puzzle JSON should have either metadata rules, right? Or rules in a cage. So let's see which one this is. So this will be in a cage here. So we kind of want to filter this. Let's see if we can build a filter here. So we should be able to say puzzle JSON. How can I say puzzle JSON? Puzzle JSON. JSON dot metadata, and I think this would be that an exists like this. Does that work? Exists? No. All right, I think we want to use this. I'm more familiar with this, so we want to do a what do you call it? A where? Is that where? No. Select. What's the stage called where we're limiting? Match. There we go. And the query is exists, right? And what we check if it exists is puzzle JSON. You have a field name starts with this, console use get field or set field. Unknown top level operator. Does this have to be? Okay, I completely forgot everything. MongoDB check if field exists. Nope. Exists. Oh, the other way around. I'm an idiot. Okay. Well, I'm not really an idiot. I'm just not too fond of the syntax. So we should be able to do this and then say exists true if the AI knows what it's doing. Okay, now puzzlejson.metadata. Can we go deeper? Let me make this a little bigger. Puzzle data. No, puzzle JSON. So this now should have metadata in it. And then we can say metadata.rules. And that should be everything. So if we put that in here, not in here, in here. So we say, okay, we want to match format. And we want to match puzzlejson.metadata, yada, yada, yada. Main is gonna need love. Yeah, maybe one day. If I feel in loving mood. Okay. And what do we get now? Dot metadata. All right, here we go. And we really just care about the rules. Now I think there'll be an array. There'll be an array, and if we say show me 3. All right. So now these seem to be New York Times puzzles. So we might want to make them unique. And I don't remember how to do that. So MongoDB unique. Select unique. MongoDB aggregate. I think you have to do it with group, which is super annoying. I think you'll have to do something like this. So after match, we want to do group ID. I guess we'll do rules. First solution. No, wait, what? Group ID. Unique values. Add to set field name. Add to set my field name. So it's matches solution. It projects solution. Maybe if we do the project first, it'll be a little easier, because then we don't have to worry about how deep the field value goes. I don't think that's how it'll. I don't think that'll work, right? So do I have to do all of this? Aha. Okay. I don't think I can flatten the array as part of the thing, but the uniqueness might still work. Wait, no. If I output the whole document now, puzzle JSON metadata rules. How does project work? MongoDB project deep property to top level. Let's see, how can we project the deeper property, new root. To project the deep property to a top level MongoDB, you can use the aggregation pipeline and the replace root or replace with stage, often combined with merge objects. Using replace root to replace with merge objects. So we have this. Details to the top level. Replace root, new root. Okay. Right now, what does it look like? Right now we have these 3 levels, which is obnoxious. I've never used this before, so I might as well learn how to do this. I should be able to do it after the projection as well, right? So if I do this, now do this. Now new root, not having the thing here, seems strange. Merge object details underscore merge details with the original. Merges details with the original root, and then if I do this, caused by merge object requires object inputs, but input is of type string. Is it because of but input metadata is of type string? I think this needs a $sign. Okay. If I say rules, if I say at rules, new object. That's okay. That doesn't do what I hoped it would do. Can I use this whole thing? Requires object, but input no metadata rules. Match. So if I do this, can I not just do it on the maybe in the group level? It feels like we should be able to do it with group. Okay. Let's also put a limit here first, so it doesn't take too long, like it doesn't have to scan everything. Can I just do rules? Do I have to use the whole thing? Ah, okay. We're calling it solution, but probably want to use call it rules. Underscore ID here. I probably can't do that. Yeah, but I might be able to just pull this whole thing in here. Don't really want to use that as ID though. Can't we just use whatever the ID is? So can't I just do this? Okay, I think that makes sense. So that means now we just have the rules array. Can I, MongoDB, can I flatten array? Can I flatten an array? Can I flatten an array? Flatten array, string join. Can we just join the array? Flatten merge set of mixed objects arrays. Flatten nested structure, array, string join. Can I just join an array of string? Excuse me, my nose is itchy. There's a reduce function. It sounds complicated, but that's probably the way to do it. Yeah. All right, we can do that on the other end. So as long as the uniqueness check still works, we can do that on the other end. And if I do this, right, and then we can say doc.rules.join. If I do this, right? Nope. rules. Is rules... Wait. Now rules is just a string. I think sometimes it's a string, sometimes it's an array, so I have to be a bit careful. Yeah. If I do it like this, it'll first parse the entire database, I think. So I have to limit it here. And then I can group it, and then I can limit it again. Like, we can do that. Right. Now these are all strings, where earlier there were arrays. I hope I'm not barking up the wrong tree here. But for now, let's grab 2 of these. Can I just rules do something like that? I want to do something like this, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Now, what we want to do now is we want to run it through the parser. So we're going to say, okay, so we're going to say const rules equals doc. And then let parsed equals parsemd rules. Right. And then we'll maybe do something like this. And put parsed here. Right. Let's just do the one. Now, I gotta automate this, right? So, ideally what we want the parsed rules to be identical to the unparsed. Okay. So, really what we want to check are these the same string. True. Okay. I'm wondering why this get output, and it's probably getting printed out from here. Yeah, and that's why earlier we had more than I anticipated. Okay, so if I now say this, okay, this, all right. Now we'll just say, hey, if these are not the same, if boom is not the same, oh, well, diff at doc.underscore id, and then we'll show the rules like this, and we'll probably do this, and then we'll do the same thing for parsed, just so we'll get some sort of output. All right, so that's 100 without any problems. That's however many without any problems. And now we have problems. Okay. And then here we can do a break. Right. And then here we'll make a little counter. Let past equals 0. We'll do past plus plus. And then we'll at the very end we'll say how many have passed so far. Boom. So 25 passed. Now that's a bit strange because earlier I thought it went through 25 without any problems. Okay, so hidden Mickeys. We also want to output, ideally, we'll also include the short IDs, right? So how do we pass those through? I think we're gonna have to include them here. So we'll have to do short IDs like that, and then here I think we also have to, we have an ID, we got rules. I'm not entirely 100% sure what the grouping here happens. Can I group with short IDs here? If I do this, right? I'm just thinking, if I did group by before, I usually would have short IDs included in groups, right? Otherwise, Here we go. Path short IDs. Unwind path short ID. Okay. So, and then here we'll say doc.short IDs. Short IDs 0.short ID. And then I think we can put that here. Right? And if I take that, we should be able to look at this puzzle. Hidden Mickeys. Okay, now, Hidden Mickeys here is already showing with bolded text. But of course, that shouldn't be supported. Okay, so this is basically the confirmation I was looking for. Can I get rid of this dialogue? Can I not have this? No, I don't want to sign in on Stack Overflow. This, what the heck? Go away. That is so weird. That should not be possible that it overlaps the browser like that. Like, what the heck? Okay, anyway. So somebody has basically used Markdown already. Why is it now past at 25 before it's 17? Okay, maybe because I haven't had any sorting applied. Let us run a full count as well. So we say pass 0, failed equals 0. Right, and then here we'll do failed plus plus. And then at the very end, we'll have passed and failed. Where's failed? Here we go. And then if I don't break, right, we'll get 1,000 passed, 7 failed, for example. And this gives us a little bit of an idea that if I were to deploy the Markdown parser right now, how many puzzles would get affected. And the other good thing is that I can see how affected they would be, right? So for example, you know, this puzzle, you know, what is being affected here? So I am seeing an asterisk here, like a footnote, right? And if I put it on the version that does the Markdown parsing, I'm not seeing the problem. Hey, babe. So let us filter that briefly here. Can I say, we have this. Can I say short IDs, IDs.short ID is this value? I should be able to just do that, right? Short IDs.short ID. I pasted the short ID in here somewhere, didn't I? Okay. So we'll need some more ASCII here. Rules parsed. So we'll do that again. We'll do that here, and we'll do that here. So now we can look specifically at the differences between the two. So we have an emphasis finish here. And where does the emphasis start? Here. There's an asterisk at the end of one line. So it tries to do an asterisk, an emphasis between here and here. Okay. So we don't want to cross line boundaries. So in theory, a word can, like a bolded word can wrap, but it shouldn't work across a hard wrap, right? So we want to exclude backslashes from the inner match of the thing, right? So these are the straight pass-throughs. This is the string that's not these, and we want to exclude backslash ends here. So if I do this, okay, now this case does not occur anymore. And, you know, hopefully we can get rid of a lot of these cases. Let me also change this to singular, to just minus symbol stashes, whatever you want to call them. So for example, if we look at this first one, and let's look at it in the browser, might be easier to see. Okay, if I put that there, I feel right now I don't hear myself well enough, which makes it a bit weird, a bit muffled. So here, 2 riffs gets emphasized. Here, 2 has single asterisks. So in this case, for example, I think that's intended, right? That's basically somebody using Markdown to do exactly what they want to do. Yeah, exactly. So in the moment, I want to have a very safe, very guaranteed, simple implementation of very basic features to get started. You mean with the M? The other problem I have is that I'm not sure if I want to treat the strings as like standard text, or if I kind of want to treat them as pre-formatted structured text, which isn't a guarantee. I guess I could just add an M there. So you're saying if I remove this, and then where am I setting up the regex? That's not the regex. R0 Oh no, I'm an idiot. Yeah. So you're saying if I put the M there, I think it'll still hit it. The other, yeah, wait, we've removed that filter. So you're saying this should also catch this. Yeah, it won't. And I'm not entirely certain. I think the M works the other way around, doesn't it? It says we want to, yeah, but that just doesn't work, if that's what you meant, while this just does work. So I'm gonna go with the thing that works for now. Again, this is not really intended to be the long-term and final implementation, because ultimately I would want to have a proper parser, but I think it'll be too much code to include on the website itself, so that's maybe something that'll happen on the back end. Yeah, I think it's the other way around. I think M says it'll scan across multiple lines, like it's already not meant to do it, but you know, because I don't enforce a specific line ending and so on, the regex, you know, in fact, this shouldn't, without the M, it shouldn't scan multiple lines. But it doesn't know what a new line here represents, so, you know. All right, so that's good. So I think we should also have like an exclusion list. So we'll just say const exclusion list. I'll just put that in here. And then we should be able to say something like, what is it? Not contains. MongoDB element not in array. Not element match foo. Very buffer should just work. Not in. I think if we do nin this, I think that'll do it. And if I remove this, that'll be the first, yeah. So I can now just add IDs in here that I want to manually ignore for now. And I'm gonna just do this for a couple, and hopefully there'll be like major classes of issues. The thing is, I don't right now know, I don't want to think too hard about how to exclude those classes, right? So for example, I'm starting to think that asterisks around a word on its own line are basically always just bolded titles, right? Can I easily detect that? basically, I think I can with this pattern, right? So, let's empty out the exclusion list again, and let's see if we can just pattern match these things. So, if we have a single word with two asterisks, like, I think this is fine. So the question is, can I remove this and still get a fail, or, you know, a non-pass, like get a difference? Or can I just remove these things, right? So if I say, all right, we want to wrap that into a function. So we'll do a function exclusion match, right? And then here we'll pass in the org string and the parsed, right? And I think we're gonna put that here, and we'll put in rules and parsed, right? Exclusion match is undefined. So for now, here, and actually I'm gonna put the break back in, so we'll just do them one at a time, right? And we'll say parsed. I'm just gonna output it for a sec, and then I'm gonna say anything that's what did I say this was in the parsed case? Oh yeah, it was the title. So anything that's just like this. Okay. So anything that's, we'll do replace all. So anything that's, it's going to be a little tricky. So we want to have this, and this is going to be a regular expression. So we want to have this literal string, then a list of non-line breaks, or let's keep it simple. We're just going to say A through Z, and space for now. Followed by 2 line breaks, because this will be a title, right? And then we want to replace that with just two double asterisks, right? So this is going to get replaced with asterisk, $1, asterisk, \n, right? Must not be a non-global regular. Ah, okay. Well, it's a G. Sorry, Toby just came in the door, and now I have dog hair on my keyboard, and it's distracting me. So it should turn this. Okay, it's not turning this. Let's run the match on it instead. I don't know where the JQ came from. If we're running a match here, we'll get a null. If I remove this, we'll still get a null, because I forgot this. Nope, still a null. Wait a second. Is this suddenly... This looks like something different. This looks different. Are we... Oh, we're getting random ordering. No. Shoot. Okay. We need to sort these. It's order by, right? Or just order? Darn it. Gosh darn it. Order. Sort. It's just sort. Okay. So we should be able to just say sort by whatever. By ID. So now ID is not defined. Are you kidding me? Must be an object. Sort. Field 1, okay, fair enough. Such a stickler. Sort, colon, colon. Start with a, god damn it. Just do it. Alright, this doesn't make any sense. This makes no sense. Undefined, undefined, undefined. Because we don't have a title in these docs. Why does suddenly sorting not produce anything? I think I might have to sort them first. Then limit. Yeah, and that's gonna make it super slow. We need to limit first, then we need to sort, and then we need to limit again. Alright. Alright, we're back. But now the difference is... Nope. It's still a random freaking ordering. Are you kidding me? Alright. That's a little annoying, but to be fair, we just gotta deal with it anyways. Although this is now concerning. Okay. And this will always be a different one, huh? Alright, I'm contemplating if I should put these in there and deal with one at a time, or if I should just try my luck. The problem is, yeah, no, I don't want to try my luck, because then every time I add something, I can't verify it, right? So, wait, what? If I do this, it should give me this one. Yes. How? How can it satisfy this? Like, how can it still be something different? Oh, is it because if it's not in an empty array, anything is valid? Maybe that's it. Maybe I don't actually need this, and it was this that was randomizing the order. No, no, it's definitely still doing something screwy. Okay. Anyway, we've got our hidden Mickeys. We still don't have a match on the hidden Mickey. A through Z, and spaces, and at least one line break. Now we should get a match, which is this. We also want a line break or something else. So we either want a we either want the start of the string or a line break here, but we don't want to include that in the match. Actually, we want to do this. Is it this instead? Yes. Okay, so we get hidden Mickeys. Now we can do a replace. And I already completely... I had it in the clipboard, but that's obviously gone now. Can I not? Oh, that took a while for some reason. Okay. So this is with the replacement. And we gotta put this, the double asterisks back in here. And we gotta put in the next line. So instead of next line, we'll just say, okay, the next thing needs to be either the end of the string or the new line. And it should undo this. And now we should be able to compare it with org. So if I now say org equal to parsed is true. Okay. So we'll say return this. Exclusion match true. And now if I do this, or exclusion match, or not exclusion match, and now exclusion match true. If it's either this, no, this and, okay, so now we're passing through this one. We can move to the next one. And now we kind of see if we can catch some major cases, right? So for example, here it's the EM stuff, right? So this is going to be a little tedious until I get my legs, and then I'll figure out what I'm doing here. So if I just do a match here, and now instead of strong, we'll say for EM, right? And we kind of want to do the same thing, except now, well, kind of the same thing, right? We're kind of just reversing it. We're kind of just reversing it. So, return org is, can we do multiple and then just basically I want to have a list of these replacements, right? So we'll just say something like this: replacements. It's an array. Each array is 2 items, which is the regex and the replacement string. And basically what they do is they kind of reverse specific cases of our parsed items. Something like that, right? Then we'll go for const re REPL of this. What is this? What's so smelly? Ew. All right. Yeah, we might want to put this outside. It's really smelly. Okay. And then we'll want to run through these and basically say if one of these matches, you know, then we'll say arg equals parse dot re REPL, and then one of those will be true. So true, false, true. And if one of these is true, then we want to return true. If, we'll do return true, and we can stop. And then else return false. Oops. Okay. And that gets us a pass on this ID. And then we move on to the next one. So this should now parse EMs and strongs on their own lines. So now we have an EM that's in the middle of a line. So if we're okay with that, probably we don't actually have to have this in the middle, be like on a line of its own, because these are clearly just simple words. So we can do that. And now we've got 1,000 passes and no fails. That's good. Okay. Ah, all right. Now we have a new case. What's this one? And now we're starting to, okay, so these are the ones that are probably going to be more interesting. Except maybe not this one. Yeah, no, this one is more interesting. That's what I was looking for, right? So these are the cases now where we have bad matches, where people have formulas in them. You know, you have 2 formulas in one thing. There's no spacing around the asterisks. So there's no way for the parser to know that this isn't meant to be an emphasis of this whole phrase. And because I'm excluding digits, it doesn't get caught in this. One sec. You guys are... Ah, okay, okay. All right, yeah, I can't. Toby's going for a walk, so I only have an hour left. So this is the main reason why we probably don't want to verbatim, like just parse everything automatically. Right now, can I start building an exclusion list of these? Does that make sense? Or are there going to be so many? Because I guess I could look for digit asterisk digit on its own and then just although actually I don't really want to do that. So we'll probably just have a bunch of these. So if we add them to an exclusion list of their own, just for the sake of not having to deal with them again, and basically what that would look like is that we have a digit followed by em or \em, /em, one or the other, followed by another digit. And that should just get replaced by that asterisk 2. So if I do this, these should no longer catch. And we don't actually need the exclusion list now. Okay. 50,000. So is that the only case where it goes bad? No, it's not. Good to know. All right, what's the situation here? Let's have a look. So triple asterisks. So that's, for example, somebody just using asterisks. They don't actually, I doubt they actually mean emphasis and strong, but maybe they do. I mean, it's still valid Markdown, and I feel doing that isn't actually gonna break this. So replacing that asterisk with bold and emphasis, I think is fine. So let's have a look at this then. So this would be strong and emphasis. And it'll be just triple asterisk, right? That should just exclude that, and it does. Cool. Now, once again, I don't think I want to verbatim. I just want to blanket apply it, right? So, for example, here, does that make sense? It sort of does, right? Why would you put asterisks around orange lines or Dutch whispers? Like putting them in italics here, I think makes sense, right? No for 4 rules apply. There's exactly 2 instances of each constraint. Exactly 1 of 2 is Rogan. Standard rules applied. Constraints, of course, they are partially uttered Rogan. Orange lines are now. There should be line breaks in here to organize the text a bit better, but maybe the person wasn't using a editor tool that let them do that easily. But I think this is a standard use of emphasis, right? So the reason our system here doesn't exclude that is because it's just so much of it, right? Like we are excluding commas and symbols and stuff. If we include those, so we allow a whole sentence to be included, right? We want to look at emphasis. So instead of just spaces, we also now include comma, full stop. And I think that's it. Yeah, that got rid of that one. What do we have now? Strong. So we have the same situation for strong. We probably need to allow commas here as well. But at least it gives me a feel that most of these situations aren't actually a problem. Exclamation marks. Okay, fair enough. And we'll probably want to put them in here too. Uh-huh. What is going on here? This one probably just has like more funky stuff. So yeah, so here now we have probably numbers in here somewhere. Is it the slash? So for example, here they use the asterisk to imply a person is talking, dialogue. which still kind of makes sense to the emphasis here would still work, right? So the question is, what is inside the asterisks that this doesn't capture? Comma, just a single quote, I guess. And now we have 3 lines. Okay. I think this is also a case where probably emphasis plus strong makes sense. So we might just have to include more symbols here. So for example, colon. So colon, colon, colon. Now in this case, it wants to have digits. And I'm loath to include like just all sorts of digits, because digits are the main place where other kinds of symbols might be used. Although triple asterisks are not exactly a mathematical part of mathematical notation. So maybe that doesn't make sense. Ooh, okay. I think it'll just get more complex. People write more and more stuff inside asterisks lined lines. No, this looks actually like it might be a genuine... Oh no. Oh no. That's not what I want to do. No. I don't want to delete this group. I want to just close it. Ugh. Because that group I kind of need. Maybe not. Maybe there's nothing in that group anymore. Alright, we have this one, and we have this one. So some stuff is getting emphasized down here. Yeah, so this one, for example, we definitely don't want to emphasize. So it probably just emphasizes this middle part here. But it might just go out of sync, because it probably is used in other places. Yeah, so here this is mathematical notation, right? It's kind of strange because I thought my algorithm wouldn't use asterisks that don't have any spacing around them. I think. If we have spacing or start before. Yeah, so if there's spacing on either side, we're ignoring it. We should probably also ignoring it if there's no spacing on either side, right? So if we say, if this is not that, and if this is not that, no. How do we do the reverse of this? What's the opposite of white space? Just capital S? Like that? I think. If I do that. Oh. I saw something bad a second ago. That was a partial... yeah, this should never happen. Okay, wait a second. So that should definitely not happen. So this is what I'm really looking for, is places where it generally fails. Well, but the thing is, I'm not writing the text, right? So this is a database of existing puzzles, 250,000 of them. So I can't tell people to go back and change all their text, right? So they were written before I'm implementing this. So I basically wanted to see that if I were to blanket implement Markdown parsing suddenly on text that isn't designed to be Markdown, how many false positives would I get? And those would be false positives, right? I'm just thinking, is there a way of avoiding them, going around them? It's probably not something I should be even thinking about. See, for example, this one, it shouldn't allow, wait a second. This shouldn't happen. So let's grab this one here. Make sure we're looking only at that. The exclusion list, I don't even know. I don't think we're using it at the moment. So let's do that so I don't confuse myself. So what's happening here? It's finding the outer asterisk, which would imply that this string has an asterisk in it, which it shouldn't. So this is a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Like it thinks it's matching this one. So the way I thought I did this is to say I'm grabbing one of these symbols, and then I'll grab. I don't want there to be two of them preceding, because there should only be one, but there can't be two. In other words, this symbol doesn't exist on this left side, right? So I'm grabbing the first one, which I think is what's happening, yeah. Then I'm grabbing 0 or 2 more, so 1, 2, or 3 of them. And then after that, I grab a string of not this symbol, followed by this whole string. So, so the idea is, since there are 2 asterisks in this string that start this sequence, right? We should match the first one. We can't match the second one because then it would have 2 ahead of it. Then it should match one more of them. But that doesn't seem to be happening. It grabs the first one and then doesn't grab the second one somehow. Even though this shouldn't be able to match. Now S is... what we're passing in here is S. Is the second thing we're passing into the function. So match found true, push, fn, that's this. That's this function. If I output the match, what am I gonna see here? It finds 2 asterisks. Oh, wait a second. Because what I'm doing is I'm doing a recursive substitution to handle nesting. So is this a case of this recursion ending up in the subs array? Oh, it pulls that singular asterisk into the subs array. Is that something I've changed? Yes. This does that. So this can't just be not that. Can I make this a inverse character class? If I do this, and then also put in this and that, can I do that? I think so, right? Because that just means this one no longer fails. Now, what I don't know is if the ones that are correct stay correct. Or... All right, we have a new failing case. We'll just go through these and then we can always circle back. This is more of a sanity check on the whole thing. Just to see how many puzzles in the database would actually be affected, right? Ultimately, the goal will be to make it explicit, so existing puzzles won't get parsed. But this is more, like it's also a good way of checking that the parser is correct. Like I'm actually improving the parser itself. And fixing some things that the parser shouldn't be picking up. This is not really true Markdown, it's my own sort of dialect, right? So this doesn't get parsed, or doesn't get matched, which is not right. Why is this not getting matched? That is a little bizarre. And some of clues are off by. That is getting matched. And then obviously do not exist. Obviously do not. Row column 10 column. These two all get. Yeah. This is bizarre. Why is that not getting parsed? Crosses the grid border is not getting parsed. I'm gonna have to dig a little bit into that one because I feel like that should be getting parsed. So we find that because the original idea of these exclusions was to say, okay, a standalone symbol shouldn't get parsed. What I'm saying here is a symbol that's surrounded by not space and not other symbols should also not getting parsed. Does that mean... I feel like it might be hitting this thing. Can I include like a couple of digits here? Just to more easily see which one crosses the grid border. 2, 1, cross the grid border. Crosses the grid border. So now it's getting replaced because this thing didn't match. I match one of them. Now it doesn't work again. Wait, asterisk, asterisk. Full stop. Full stop is... Oh, okay, because it's between two symbols. So we kind of don't want it to not be... We want it to be not a word character. Does that work? Sorta. I don't know if it's 100% correct. All right. So now it first matches this, which is fine. That's not in our subs list. We probably want to do this. So this goes in the subs list. Then we get this. Some clues are off by. Some clues are off by. That goes in the subs list. That makes sense, right? Some clues are off by, yes. And then the final thing, row 10, column 10. Okay, now I think our exclusion match now doesn't function precisely anymore, does it? Off by any of these strings that are not gonna get captured by this. This one doesn't allow digits yet. Okay, well, there's no reason now not to do this. And now this one passes. All right. I gotta be careful that I don't compromise my parser. But this one works now. Can we find another one that doesn't? Yes, yes we can. But now I'm starting to think that the ones that don't pass, that don't pass, are getting more complex, which is a good sign, right? I'm not expecting for it to work for everything perfectly, right? Right, so this one we saw earlier as problematic. Is it because of the underscores? Wait, what? I'm not using underscores at all. 1 second. Okay, let's just output these again. So it finds this. But isn't that supposed to have white space on the outside of these? Or non... but only on one side, right? So this bracket might... Yeah, so that's the problem, right? Like I said, okay, if it's an asterisk in the middle of letters, it shouldn't be converted. But because this is a non-word character, we can't have it both ways, right? And in the other case where it was next to a full stop, like this could very well be a... Like, I kind of want to say that it has to be on both sides, and here it's only on one side. And this guy doesn't capture that. Because that should be pulling those out first. Actually, I don't know, because I don't know if this is considered a non-word character, right? What if we change this to be explicit and just say A through Z, and 0 through 9, I guess. We'll just say that. No. If it's an asterisk that has white space on both sides, this should be skipped. If it's an asterisk that has non-letters... Ah, wait a second. If it... Actually, wait a second. Maybe this is completely wrong. Excuse me. What if instead of inverting it, I say, if it has something like this on either side, just grab it and pull it out. And it'll pull out... It'll pull out one of them. If I add some dots, I can figure out which one. So that's the one ahead of the X underscore. Right, where is it? Here. So it'll pull out... It'll match this one. Because it has letters on both sides. And once that's excluded, none of the other ones will match. And that'll fix this case. Why? Okay, I don't know why that was stuck. So does that mean if I now remove that, and we're going over 50,000 again, now we get a new case. And once again, we'll take a look. I've done so many of these. This might be a very bad way of doing it. So it finds this phrase. And when I double check this phrase, it fails because it has this dash in there as a special character. Okay, I don't mind adding this to the to this list. Is that an M dash? Do we have full stop here? And maybe we have colon. That's already on this list. Comma is already on the list. Weird dash is on the list. Lowercase and capitals are on the list. Ah, wait, is this the other way around? Maybe. Strong em, strong. S dash cell, comma. Is this maybe some weird comma? Doesn't look like it. Oh, wait, it's a pass now anyways. Okay. All right. Ooh, second matcher. If it's inside a character class, it's a negation. It's just standard regular expression. Like if it's inside a character class, it just means not these symbols, right? Like in this case, it just means not these symbols. Yeah, they're reusing the same character to mean different things. Can be annoying. Okay, so this one now, I'm seeing mathematical equations, which is like my main issue case that I would like to be able to handle more elegantly. Let's see what exactly it sees here. So what it should be doing is it should be pulling out all these asterisks ahead of time into my replacement list, my substitutions list. Wait, That's not a substitutions list. That's not right. Res. What am I doing here? Result is this. Okay, now I'm confused. Subs.length. Res. So res becomes... that's what we're getting out of get subs, right? No, yeah, okay, so that's this string. Right, let me just put that after subs. It's confusing otherwise. So it matches this. Should it match this? No, because the n has something on the other side. But I'm kind of bouncing back and forth. So this is kind of the case, like which characters can be, because you want to be able to have a full stop after an emphasized thing. But I guess you don't want to have an open brace after an emphasized thing, so it's a bit... so we kind of want to have no braces either. Like that. Now what this should do is... And then, for example, this is a textbook... So the spacing of this equation is basically so all over the place. There isn't really any way I can... Like, it's basically just sloppily written. And there's no structure to it, so I can't figure out the structure, right? Like, there's a space... Like, if there was no space on either side or a space on either side, I could figure out what that person meant, right? But in this case, it looks exactly how it should look if it's an emphasis starting thing, right? The problem is, it shouldn't find an end to the match. Except, I think I'm not even checking for that because I figured I've removed all those possibilities already. Which I can't in this case. Like, that just doesn't work. So if I figure out the internal ones, the external one eventually will end up with, let's see. Yeah, it says we're starting here, and where does it think it's finishing? It's finishing after the full stop, which is this. Interesting. Okay, because this one was already removed by the previous matching. Yeah, so here we can see all the substitutions, right? All these internal asterisks are getting substituted because I'm trying to basically enable nesting, right? And then this one, because it has a full stop on one end, so we probably need to say it needs to be preceded, right, by one of either start of the string. Is that the start or the end? I always get confused. Either start of the string or, you know, full stop, white space, etc., or space or full stop, right? This doesn't work? And if I then do the same thing at the end, which is here, and then replenish that with this, or one of these, right? So it'll be this or one of these. And then this one won't match anymore. I feel like I might be doing the wrong thing here, though. Aw, thank you, Keith. I mean, not for the forgetting, but for the coming back and fixing your grave mistake. Alright, let's see. What do we have on this one? We have an asterisk here. Orange and green lines are dry. So this is an emphasis line. Okay, so this one we kind of do want to match. So this I'd like to actually parse. Ah, and we are parsing it. So we're just in our double checker, we're not unparsing it correctly, right? So asterisk to asterisk. This is perfectly fine. It just means it has symbols in there that I haven't included here. Probably braces. It's probably braces. Oop. Oh, is it because of the dash? Yeah. So I should escape the dash, put the braces here, escape the dash, because the dash would imply range. So if you have something on the other side of the dash, it gets confused. All right. Let's find the next one. Okay, that's fine. That one should be emphasizable. Ah, yes. Instead of just spaces, we also want to accept line breaks. We'll do that. Or can that... I think that can just be in the character group, right? Like that. I should have put it in our filter. I think I just lost it. I don't know why it randomly resorts it, but I guess it's just how MongoDB works. Where are our substitutions? I'm not even seeing them. It's a long piece of text. So, how do large clues work? How do large clues work? Triple question mark. So that one gets substituted. Oh, okay. It just means I think our double checker here doesn't have question marks yet. Okay. I kind of figured that'll happen eventually and I'll want to add them. Okay. So now these do work. What's the next one that doesn't? This one. Probably weird symbols again. Right. Not. That's fine. Emphasis. Probably something about exclusion, inclusion of certain characters, I suspect. So, we have this and this. And our reversion here should support these, right? Commas. Note, this is not the digital root. It doesn't handle nesting. Okay, all right. So actually our code does handle this correctly. Which is great. But our decoder is not sophisticated enough to double check this. So here we have a case of a strong word inside an emphasized sentence, which this version of the algorithm doesn't handle. Oh, because this algorithm doesn't actually run there yet. We haven't actually implemented that yet. Okay. This thing, I made some changes here, which I'm not super sure about. Whoops. I should be able to test these though in the site code relatively easily, right? So this happens currently in utilities, I believe. Utilities, where is it? So we have this part here. So if I change this to a let, and then I'll just say md parse or equals whatever, right? I just do this, and then we'll do that. Like the inline block and parse, md parse. I don't think the other ones are being used. Right? That's just this. Ah, yeah. Okay. So yeah, oh no, it breaks here. It's not wrapping the emphasis in here. Is that because of the separation by line breaks? Because here I think I'm splitting it and running it separately. Shoot. I haven't tested for that. Is it that these are wrong? I think I might have these wrong. Actually, we might as well. Oh yeah. If I swap these. No, wait. I can't have this on both sides. So I think this has got to be at the back end. Oop. Regexer. I always... Which one is the front? Which one is the back? If I do this... Okay, so carry is the front and dollar is the back. If I do dollar, it won't match anything, but if I do dots in front of it, this is the end of regular expression. Okay, so that should work. Yes, leave the site. If I refresh this now, does that not work? Oh, I really don't want that down here. No, now it doesn't work at all. That's strange. So I put the... Huh? No. Wait, dollar carry. Did I... What's this doing here? Did I just put that... Christ. Okay. Carry dollar. No. Yeah. Okay, I got confused. No. This should be right. It's not doing the right thing though. And here it's doing something differently. If I split it by line breaks, and I'll just say, if I just say rules.split like that, which is these, right? And then this becomes a separate thing. And then if I do map, line, parse, md line. If I do this, what do I get in the end? It still does parse it correctly. This looks right. Make sure I'm using the same code here. It should be right. It looks right. Oh. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh. When are parse MD? This is the line breaks have already been processed, so we kind of want to pass it in here. Pass it in here. Oh, I just came from a play where Maltese people played Americans in like the previous century with a strong like Brooklyn accent, and I think it messed my brain up a little bit. Apologies. Can I do the parsing before the line break stuff, which is happening here? Maybe we can do this at the end. So if I do something like res equals res dot replace, and then instead of that, we'll just grab the text and then we'll do the other parsing first. I think that'll make more sense. And then it works. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to deal with the line breaks having been pre-parsed already. I don't want to handle that inside the regular expression. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Let's put this one on the exclusion list because the nesting I don't want to deal with in the double checking. So that's fine. We know this works. So we're back to having an exclusion list. Surprise, surprise. Probably should do this first. Okay. That's obviously super spammy. Put these in one line so I can comment them out more easily. All right, we have a failing case once again. Of course we do. All right, what is the failing case here? Slashes inside? Yeah, I suppose so. Okay, no biggie. That's just an issue with our double checking code. So if I do this here, here, and here, and now it's a passing case. Okay, next one. Let's not break out for a sec. Let's see how many failing cases we have, just for a second. It would be nice if I could categorize them, but oh, you see, we only have 7, so that's not so bad. All right, what's the failing case? We can do 7 more. And what we got here, that looks fine. So I think that's once again just a question of nesting and our double check algorithm not handling nesting. That's fine. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe all of them are just that. In fact, maybe they are just versions of the same puzzle. Oh, wait, we can't exclude it and include it. Once again, I think this is also just nested stuff. And I don't want to reverse the whole algorithm, so I'm definitely not going to deal with these on a case by case. I'm going to just look at that in here because this looks a slightly more complicated case. So, okay, so here I think this is somebody using Markdown in the intended fashion, right? Like if I look at these, I feel like that person intended for that to be bold, that to be emphasized, these to be bolded, both at the same time. Why? I think the only reason the checker might not be catching these is maybe because it doesn't look at... No, it does allow a single digit in the middle of these. Oh, but I think... Oh, it doesn't do them one at a time. It doesn't like apply all of these. So that'll never work. Okay, I think our check algorithm just doesn't apply all of them simultaneously. Like it checks one at a time. So anything that does more than one thing will actually not show correctly. Probably the same with these, right? I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, so we clearly just want to bold that last line, and it has a percentage symbol in it, and that's probably it, right? So if I put that in here, all right, we got an issue. If I add a percentage symbol here, percentage, and probably things like ampersands and a couple other ones will probably show up as well. Yeah. All right. We said 7, right? We've probably handled 3 or 4 now. Ooh, I'm guessing it's a emoji issue, and I'm not gonna add Unicode handling here. Yeah, this has Unicode on the inside of that. Yeah, this one just goes on the exclusions. Because yeah, again, this being emphasized should be perfectly fine, and this being bolded should be perfectly fine. So just slap it on the exclusion list. Interesting. Somebody made a test puzzle for me. How convenient. Somebody was trying to figure out which things are we supporting. Okay. So I'm not supporting underscore. I think in the moment I'm just going to go for these. We're not going to support slashes. But it should support the double asterisks there. Why does it not support the double asterisks? That is odd. That looks like an easy one. Prefixed. Because we want to accept, you know, things like exclamation mark, question marks, and all that sort of thing at the end. Okay. So if I add that to here. I feel a bit nervous because I've made a big mistake with using too many regular expressions in the past. And I feel like maybe I'm making that same mistake again. Okay, why is this not parsing now? Why is that not parsing it like it does on the other side? Hey, there we go. It just needed to refresh. All right. No. We're gonna start with the simple stuff first. But I'm gonna remember this one as a test puzzle. Thanks, Sir Zemek. I'm gonna drop him a note. Where is he? All right, so once again, let's throw him in the exclusion list. By the way, what do you think about this music, especially folks that have watched previous streams with the other playlist? This is a different style, but maybe a little bit more variety. What do we have here? B 3.1. I think that's probably just an issue with my deparser, my unparser. Normal static rules apply. German's per rules. Just different strong. Is it the curly backtick here? Probably need to put that. Yeah, it's the Word document backtick. Yeah, still an issue though. Let's see what's going on here. Well, I'd like to support it, but I also don't want to add too much stuff because it's just going to make the regular expression more fragile. That looks... Oops. That looks correct now. But the unparser doesn't seem to understand it. Is that just... Oh, no, it's just a question of multiple simultaneous things that the unparser doesn't do. That's fine. All right. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Let's go bigger. Let's go bigger. That's going to take a little longer. It's crashing. It's timing out. Ugh, okay, well, I might have to give it a little bit more time to parse 100,000 puzzles. Let's just do this. All right, come on. I don't even know how many there are in the database at the moment. Ooh, it still times out. 3 seconds is not enough. 30. More connections are going to help us because we only need one. It's just we're querying the whole freaking thing. All right, the whole shebang. There we go. We've found some more issues. First we have probably more of the same. Probably just nested parsey things that our unparser doesn't handle. So we just have a bolded line at the top. Wait, we just have a bolded line. That should be handled by the unparser. Oh, semicolon, that's why. The unparser doesn't have semicolons in this list of characters that it allows. There we go. All right, let's do more. Yeah, it's not really my choice. It's surprisingly hard to find music that you can just use. And I do like having a bit of background music. I mean, the alternative would be to just play it for myself and not to pass it onto the stream. I could do that as well. What's going on here? So far it seems to be working pretty well, so I don't really think we have too many horrible bad cases here. Maybe just additional symbols that aren't being handled, or more likely than not just a mixture of strong and emphasis, which my unparser currently doesn't do very well with. All right, I don't see it right away. What's the issue? Let's see. Oop, hash. No. Wait, what? Did he literally write strong into the thing? Oh, our unparser doesn't know not to unparse this. All right, so somebody was just throwing some... That's curious that they would both literally write this, but then also use double asterisks. Interesting. All right, again, once again, not a case I actually care to fix or handle. I mean, that's really up to this puzzle setter to go back and kind of change that once the functionality is out there. All right. Next one. So we've got one emphasized word. That's curious why that would show up here. Ah, no, because there's an emphasis and a strong, and our unparser once again doesn't handle that. Okay. Understood. Maybe we should do a count now with the larger thing. Because, you know, it could be 70 or 100, so I probably don't want to just manually go through another 70 of these. One passed, one failed. Because wait, one passed, one failed. How could one have failed? We should have had only one in the list. That's weird. 8 fails. Okay, all right. We can actually do 8 more. I mean, there's diminishing returns, obviously, because 8 out of 100,000 is already a very, very small percentage of puzzles that would be affected at all. And the odds are these are all just either characters that I've missed out of the character class, like umlauts, like in this case maybe, or puzzles that just have mixed usage, like emphasis and strong. But like it doesn't look like these look like, you know, another puzzle that's being handled perfectly fine. Let's throw it on the list. That was a C, I believe. Okay, so then the question becomes, what's the next step? Am I happy with this algorithm? Do I want to minify it? Yeah, there's probably a lot of these. The other question is, like, this is not a question for you guys, this is a question for myself. Like, what else do I want to do to... I mean, for me, this is also testing the algorithm, right? It's making sure it doesn't do something really weird and funky. Because now we have to do the opposite. Ooh, this looks like a bigger one. We need to do the opposite as well. We need to have puzzles that should pass, like that should get parsed. And are they getting parsed correctly, right? That's the side of the coin. And since we don't have a lot of examples, right? Like, for example, this puzzle looks like it's gonna have a lot of... Yeah, so this list is, this rules text has been fully marked down, right? So for example, currently I don't do header text, right? Eventually I would like that, like 1, 2, and 3 hashes for different heading styles. But I also have to fix some things on the other side. Interestingly, for example, that it would miss this here. Like, this feels like something it should be able to capture. So that's curious. Here as well. So this, wait, like middle of the ship, odd number. Middle of the ship, odd number. Why would it get the first one and not the second one? Is it because of the M dash at the end? Maybe. Can I grab this quickly? Because I think these might be M dashes. So this is a lot of text that somebody might have pulled out of some sort of, maybe out of AI? Here's a fun, engaging description for your start. This looks like this is a cut and paste job from ChatGPT. Mission to I think this feels this feels like ChatGPT. I'm gonna ask the guys about that. Can I even get that into Discord? Don't know if I can. I might have to split that. God, it's so freaking long. Why can I not select from here? There's like some tiny little ad at the bottom now of the description, so I can't select properly, which is so irritating. So if I do this, sorry, I'm trying to put something into Discord, and Discord put something there that means I can't. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Let us add those dashes over here. If I add that here, would that now and comma? Yeah, I guess do I want to have an endless list here again? Not too fond of that. Yeah, I guess that's the other check. Do we have any asterisks left? And the other thing is I want to be able to keep certain asterisks in there. And I don't, at the same time, I also don't want to have a specification that's so complicated that nobody really would understand, and that's deviates so strongly from the Markdown standard. So I have to be a little bit cautious. But at least now it'll catch, yeah, it'll catch all of these. This is maybe not the worst test puzzle. So let me add that to my notes here. Whoops. Here. And then we'll put it on the exclusion list and we move on. All right. Yep, that was the comma. Hey, here we go. That's probably... I wouldn't be surprised if there's more of these puzzles. Like somebody adding... Just... Yeah, this is like... Again, I don't know if this is out of what's the word? Out of AI. Although this one, I'm surprised our reverse checker isn't catching. You'd think our reverse checker can reverse all of these. Unless there's weird symbols inside of these strong... ampersand. I had thought about that earlier. Should have probably just added it at the time. So when I added the percentage symbols, I probably should have added the ampersand as well. There we go. That was my suspicion. And that's probably more of the same. Yeah. Colon. Here we go. That goes in here though. Probably semicolon as well. I should have marked that down though. Fog of War. Where are the asterisks that are left over? Or is that just a... Okay, I think this might just be a case of mixed markup that our double checker doesn't manage very well. Well, it definitely has strong, it definitely has bold and regular. Why is that not working? Interesting. Did I not move this over yet? Maybe I hadn't moved that code over yet? Yeah, no, I hadn't. Okay. Here we go. Hey, looks much better. So most of these are already getting handled pretty well. I'm actually surprised by that because I thought there'd be a lot more bad ones, you know, with weird... Although it could be that our double checker just isn't double checking correctly anymore because I've added too many exclusions. So maybe the things that it thinks are fine are actually not fine. Yeah, this is just another one with mixed formatting. Yeah, like going from here to here. Well, let's do this. That seems perfectly fine. It might not be their full intention though, so again, I don't think I should try to parse everything. But I like where it is at the moment. Probably better than my paw with the rules text parsing via regular expressions, with the anti-knights rules and such. Okay, so this is somebody who's added their own formatting and probably forgot to remove it or something. And that's why the checker fails on these. Hey guys, hey Poochie. Alright, next one. We should be as good as done now. Okay, that looks pretty good. So that's probably just the unformatter not managing something. I wish I had the patience to make a more robust system that told me exactly what it is not doing correctly. But it's really not justified for what I'm doing here. I mean, this whole thing is probably not what I should be doing, but I sometimes like to semi-manually go through a complex process. It helps me feel confident. That's probably just that one, the same puzzle we saw earlier, just under a different ID. I mean, this whole exclusion list is actually a good set of candidates. All right, so somebody try to add a link. All right, we'll probably add that also to our test list. Mostly because I am not supporting links. But I'm curious who puzzles... actually, let's just open the thing. But I'm curious who puzzlescript.net is. In fact, let's get the link from here. Aw, cute. Because ultimately, I'd like to support links to creators' pages, just not like this. Fake cage. I wish it had... I wonder if there's a bit of advertising potential in here. Like if I say metadata, if I say puzzle JSON, puzzle, if I just do this, you said, if I say, puzzle data contains https:// Can I just do contains MongoDB string includes substring? Oh, can't I just do a regular expression there? Can't I just say slash? Oh no, I think I can do match element. I think I can just use a regular expression here, no? I just do this. Give me that. I can. Okay, so I could actually find a number of puzzles that are trying to include links. And maybe, because for example, Logic Master Germany, I don't mind linking to, so I could actually filter out how many puzzles there are that do that. And I do... can I count? Can I just count? Can I? No, I want to count. Can I do? Will that get me a count? Yeah. So quite a few, but not like an infinite amount. So we could probably do that as well. Like say, okay, what kind of domains do people like to link out to, and how many of those can I just whitelist? Oh no, I've built parsers before, but I'm not gonna fit a full-on parser into like 100K, right? On a 1K or something. Like I don't want to add 50, 60K, right? I mean, there are Markdown parsers that I could use, but they're big, and I don't want to make people download 60K of Markdown parser for the occasional puzzle, right? In the future, probably what I'll do is I'll probably parse it server-side. So every puzzle will just, as it gets uploaded and published, it gets parsed, and then we'll store it. So like, I totally agree, and that's why I don't want to do full Markdown. That's why I'm only doing like a few inline styles for now to just test it, see what people say about it, you know. People immediately want the other stuff. I'm aware of that. But you got to start somewhere, right? And it'll hopefully be better than the thing that I have currently, which isn't very good. So we're almost done. Toby's back. I probably should get ready for dinner as well. But it means once this is proven robust, the only thing left before I can publish this is to determine, or to decide, I should say, how I want to... Oh my god. This is a complex rules thing. But it looks fine. How I want to let people mark a particular puzzle as being marked down, right? How because I don't want to just parse all puzzles, right? Hey, look at that. We're passing 100,000 passing. Let's go 150,000. And if those are all passing, we'll do 200,000 and then I'll end the stream. Is there a gas puzzle today? Yes, because I haven't played it yet. So while this is parsed, and because it'll take a while, I'm actually going to play today's gas puzzle. Look away if you don't want to get spoiled. Let's see. It's a anti-king puzzle. But the anti-king rule, I don't think is marked in the file. How do we have 100,000 passes when I limited to 150,000? It's possible that because I'm limiting to SCL format and excluding all FPuzzles format puzzles, we might not actually have 200,000. Should have 100,000 though. So, hey, there we go. We still have a few more. 106,000 passed. Wow. This is another pass puzzle. Another test puzzle that somebody else made. Let's have a quick look. Can we use Markdown in these rules? What about links to things? No. It's a bit of a... It seems like a nice puzzle. Probably this puzzle exists somewhere else with without this testing. So they probably just tested it and then later on changed it. But yeah, we have another test puzzle. We also want to add this to the exclusion list. And go back to here. So it's an anti-king, which means we can't have a 3 here, which means... Oh, well... Okay. What does it mean? No 2 here. 3. It means... Okay. Right. Alright. I guess this will be my most useful tool. Something like that. And then I think... Okay. That. Oop, what we got? Alright, that's just another test puzzle. In the exclusion list you go. 5, 5, 5. These two 5s should mean this can't be a 5, yeah. These two 5s should mean this can't be a 5. Ah, this checker doesn't see that. Okay, that's interesting. Oops. Oh, eh. I just want to copy this. Give me that. So I put that in here. Okay, and if I look at it parsed, it should be fine. Yep, exclusion list. Alright, back to here. Multitasking par excellence. Alright. 7 here, 7 here, 7 here, 5 here. Not a 7 here. 7 here. Okay. 8 here. 8 here. 8, 8. 8, 8, 4. 4. Under the 4s now, okay. 9s. 9. Okay. Probably same as before. Just a complex rule set, maybe coming out of ChatGPT with lots of Markdown formatting in it. Bold word arrows bold emphasis. Yeah, just a mix of standard Markdown syntax with the part which the parser already seems to handle pretty well. Cool. All right. Where else? That's a 1-3. Mm-hmm. 1 to 2 6. 2 2 2 2 2 2. Oops. 2 here. Okay. 3 2 6 2 1 3 3 5, and this is a 1. And 6s go in various places. Where else do 6s go? It's here, here, and here, I believe. Oh, we got something more. I think that's the same as the other one, where it's actually getting handled well, but our double checker, and we have a HTML here that is just bad puzzle data, really. 5 3 1 9 3 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 3 5 and 3. Hey, look at that. 4 minutes. I'm sure that's our time. All right, what we got? Ah, that's the same one but fixed. Okay. Yeah, one day I'd love to be able to match all these puzzles from the same set together to kind of get an evolution of how. Yeah. But my nested parsing works actually pretty well. To be honest, the way I implement the nested parsing, the nested handling, is basically I built a parser and I just use the regexes as tokenizer. That's really kind of what I'm doing here, in a simplified way. So I'm kind of using parsing mechanics, if that makes sense. So it's not as egregious as just throwing a big regex as at it, which I have done in the past as well. All right. I think most of these are just the same. Yeah, this is just this puzzle, and he's tried. He's tested a lot of ways of doing Markdown. He's tried check bold, checked. I mean, I'd like to support some of these basic HTML tags. Like, I might just replace them with the double asterisks, you know, to do add another constraint. So he is actually internally using. Wait. Oh, okay. So the underline works. Oh, okay. I'm flabbergasted. I didn't like. Yeah. Look at that. To do add another constraint. To do add another constraint. There we go. It's getting slower and slower and slower though. I mean, how many of these 200,000 did we say we had there? Yeah, just more of that. Let's. I'm not gonna make you watch me do this like 10 more times because it's getting a bit slow. I would like the same puzzle could just be there another 10 times as well. And that's the other thing I need to get back to working on, which is the puzzle equality check measure, distance measure. Yeah, there's 40 more KLKs out of 200,000, so though that's really not bad. So this function is fairly robust, and I'm pretty sure like this probably minifies pretty well as well. So if I go to converters and I just throw it in here, just naively, like how big does it get? It's probably less than a K. So that's 739 bytes. So that's not too bad. And that's really not efficient yet. Like I could probably manually optimize it quite a bit. Just the fact that these strings are in there a couple of times and things like that, you know. And I'm pretty sure this strips the comments. Yeah. There's a bunch of ways of simplifying this. This is another Achilles heel. I'm kind of depending on this string not occurring otherwise. I mean, we could probably replace it with a non-printable Unicode character to make it even less likely to be an issue. Like if we just have 3 0 characters or something. But other than that, this algorithm seems to be quite robust. And it's not too complex either. I might actually maybe rewrite that in a more elegant fashion. Yeah, so I think we're pretty close on like just bringing that over. So, because the thing is that I have Markdown parsing right now in there, but that parse is kind of broken. Yeah, so the last step that remains is to make the big decision of when to apply the parsing. And I had a couple of thoughts about this, I think 2 weeks ago. To basically have just a parallel separate piece of text that people can use. The pros and cons are basically that if I do this, there is no fallback, or people have to like fallback for systems that don't support rules_markdown. Probably what I might do is something like this for now. Yeah. Mostly because Markdown is pretty backwards compatible. Because the problem with this system is that if the tool doesn't support this format, it will just pass the string straight through, which is a little odd. But I think since 99% of the target for a puzzle data would be the SudokuPad website, that's okay. Like, for example, the SudokuPad app wouldn't support it, right? But that needs to be updated. And in the future, hopefully, it'll be more up to date with the website. So hopefully that will not be a problem for ever. I don't want to say for very long, because it might be a little while longer, but eventually, yeah, eventually you should be able to fix that. Okay, that's it for today. I'm happy with the progress. Hopefully sometime next week I'll just push this to beta and then I'll post something about that. Probably get some inquiries from puzzle setters. Part of me still wants to just parse everything, and I might do that. Actually, I might first replace the current parser on beta because it works fairly well the way it's set up now. Like, I don't think I have a lot of negative cases. But it could also be now that I've changed it enough that the negative cases just don't get captured anymore by my double checker here. All right, that's it. Thanks for hanging out. NFS held, Keith, Sam, Vimeke, and that's everybody today. Thanks for stopping by. If you like the music better or less good, or have any other comments, drop them down below. Thank you very much. Take care. See you guys in the next one. And as always, thanks for hanging out. Bye-bye.